This is a Kirkendall Barrett presentation, darling.
Feed me, meow, meow, meow.
Because of this podcast, I'm a gay icon.
I'm so hot. I'm so good looking. My salad dressing is amazing.
Like the internet at large, there are things you can do on the internet besides porn, but most of it's porn.
A lifetime of Hallmark.
Well, hello everybody. It is your favorite day of the week. It is time for another episode of A Lifetime of Hallmark, where we talk about your favorite movies on both Lifetime and the Hallmark channel and try to make sense of them. I am Les Kirkendall Barrett. Hello, Jason Bowers.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett.
And hello, Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett, and hello, Jason Bowers.
Well, I'm still in Vancouver. I head back tonight. I'm feeling like I've been hit by a truck, but it was fun. The show did well, and I found a guest for an upcoming episode.
Ooh, tell us more.
And it's someone who Kurt knows too. This guy Jeff Leard.
Oh, Jeff. Yes, I know Jeff Leard.
He works for Hallmark movies.
Okay.
Or he used to.
Oh.
And
I was going to ask if you cross paths with any stars of Hallmark or Lifetime movies up there.
Well, he's a behind-the-scenes person.
Okay.
Yeah, he works on crew. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he works for something else now, but he's spent years working for Hallmark. And I started talking to him, and he has a lot of really good stories. And he said that he will come on the podcast anytime and talk about them.
That's amazing.
Okay. Well, good. I know Jeff. I've known Jeff for years. I stayed in his home some years back.
Yes, and he gave me some snippets of some stories, and they are good.
Okay, good. I like this. I know you said you're talking about me with people. You said my ears would be burning. Was that what you were talking about?
No, we were backstage for something and your name came up.
Oh, I see.
Oh no, we were on John. Jason, John, Kurt and I have a friend named John who has a boat, and John had a boat party.
Nice.
And we were at the party, and Kurt's name came up. Yeah. Have you been on his boat?
No.
It's a cool boat. It's a cute
know.
little boat.
What would you do if I told you I was on his boat, Kurt?
Were you on his boat?
I was not on his boat. I just wanted to see how you'd react.
I didn't think you would be. I mean, I don't know if you got there.
I just wanted to plant that uncertainty for just a
I'd be
moment.
shocked.
And so Kurt's name came up on the boat.
My name was on the boat. So, okay, good.
Well, your name was mentioned. You were like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, my name was being floated around
Yes.
Literally.
in the waters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah. But
No, I just assume I'm always a fluttering on the tip of people's tongues. So my ears can't burn constantly.
right. Oh, before we get started,
Yes.
so I was listening to Marc Maron today,
Mhm.
and his guest is Eric Roberts.
Is this a
And
new episode or an old one?
No, a new one.
Oh, wow.
Because Eric has
Coincidence.
a autobiography out.
I just found that out last night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I saw that on Amazon. I don't think it's out quite yet. But yeah.
Oh, he's promoting it though.
Right. He's also going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. And so this episode is extra. I think this episode's almost 3 hours long. It's a really long episode with him and Marc Maron. And so he was talking about how he says that he gets over 30 offers a week and he takes most of them.
I'm assuming you mean for acting roles or
For acting.
or is he
For acting.
proposition for his sex constantly?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
He
I want to
says,
see how long this episode is.
and he says,
The Eric Roberts says. Yeah.
he says, even if he knows a project is bad, he'll take it. Because he says he loves acting so much that even that even some of the bad jobs are still fun. And he says that the key to his acting is he has respect for the material, and he treats he says that a project is the director and the writer's baby, and he treats it like it's their baby, and he has respect for it.
Okay.
That's fair.
This says that show is an hour and 18 minutes. So.
And P.S. Eric Roberts and I have something in common.
Oh, but we heard this. Don't you go to the same dermatologist?
No. It's even deeper than that. So I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts many years ago, and on this podcast, Eric and I had the same acting teacher because he brings her up on this episode.
Oh.
Yes.
I think it's an amazing coincidence that Eric is out there with his autobiography on Marc Maron, and we happen to have picked an Eric Roberts movie. I think now is the time we try and put in a request to have him on the show.
Right. You know what?
Ooh.
After listening to this, I bet he would do it.
He gets 30 offers a week. Maybe he'll do it.
But he
I bet he would do it.
But people pay him for all this stuff. Would we have?
I don't know if Marc Maron pays people though.
No, but that's like we have some audience though. These would be his people.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm eating a mint.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, obviously he's easy to contact.
Yeah, go through your acting teacher. Go through. Is it your chiro? Is it the chiropractor that you share with Eric Roberts?
If I had to go through my acting teacher, I'd have to whip out a Ouija board.
I think you probably.
That might be the way to do it.
Okay.
Send him a sign from up above.
Let's get that
Do
guy who
a
was on the show a
lifetime
couple
of
weeks
Hallmark.
ago. Let's get that guy who was on the show a couple weeks ago, the Living with the Dead guy. He can contact
Ken?
your acting teacher.
Yeah.
I should get Ken Boggle.
Ken Boggle,
Contact
can
him.
you please help us get
Boggle
Eric Roberts
contact
on the show?
I'm sure you could contact Eric Roberts.
I just have to figure.
You know how you contact people, don't you? Have you ever actually had to contact somebody's agent?
No.
He says he does everything through his wife.
His wife? Okay.
Yeah, he says his wife books everything.
Well, here's a little secret: is how you get the agent thing. If you call SAG, Screen Actors Guild, and you just say, "All right, there's like a maximum of 3 people." You say, "I've got 3 people to tell me what their agents are and their contact information, and they'll give it to you."
Because that should be our goal for 2025.
Eric Roberts.
Get Eric Roberts.
That should be our goal for now. He's out there promoting his book. Now is our time.
Oh, that's
I
true.
think we could. I think we could contact him directly.
Okay.
I think we could.
Okay. Let's put that in the universe.
Samantha.
All right, audience, fingers crossed.
Samantha.
On that.
I'm putting this up there for Samantha. We have a task for you, Samantha.
Well, and think about it. Producer Samantha has contacts at Lifetime for sure. Because she works for them.
Yeah.
Producer Samantha, we need your help.
And Ken Boggle, we also need your help.
Ken Boggle, we need your help too.
And since you're
get in
asking about
contact.
Eric Roberts, you should also ask about the person we talk about every single week.
Yes. We can't leave her out, Kurt. We don't want Blac Chyna to be left out. Do you have any Blac Chyna news?
Doing a piece of China.
China.
I'm talking China.
The Blac Chyna Report. Here's Kurt Fitzpatrick.
All right, this is an article from rollingout.com. This is an article by Amir Apple. Blac Chyna celebrates 2 years of sobriety.
Yay.
She recently celebrated a significant milestone in her life. The 36-year-old reality star shared her heartfelt journey through an emotional Instagram video showcasing her. I hear jars. Is
What are
somebody
you
making
doing?
wine?
Sorry, it's my water bottle. Sorry.
Somebody making wine over there? What's going on?
Sorry, water bottle.
Okay, so anyway, geez, we're trying to celebrate her sobriety, and there's like wine bottles going around.
Yeah.
So in this video that she made, she's surrounded by her 2 children, Dream Kardashian 7 and King Cairo 11, as they celebrate her sobriety with a beautifully decorated glass of wine. No, a beautifully decorated cake. The cake is adorned with black bows and photos of White and her children. symbolizing. Now, when you eat this cake, so you're eating the photos of the people?
Yeah.
I guess you can do that.
Have you ever seen one of those before?
I think I have, yeah, but it always feels weird eating it.
But I bet you'd eat it.
Yeah.
Just
So
food
during the
coloring.
celebration, White expressed her excitement, stating, "I'm really excited for the 2 years and many more to come. I promise you, every day that I'm sober, it's definitely worth it. And if you guys are on your sobriety journey, keep going." And her daughter Dream added a sweet touch by singing a modified version of the Happy Birthday song to commemorate the occasion. Now, her journey to sobriety has not only been about abstaining from substances, but also about personal transformation. As she's embraced her real name, Angela White, and she's made significant changes to her physical appearance by dissolving cosmetic fillers and reducing surgical enhancements. She's living a more authentic life. In fact, in a candid discussion on the Vial Files podcast, hey, she's going on that. She could come on here, can't she? Okay.
Yeah.
White opened up about the challenges she faces in maintaining her new lifestyle. She emphasized the importance of discipline in her journey, stating, "It's a very hard thing. I had to teach myself discipline, even with my sobriety, working out and becoming closer to God with my spirituality. That stuff takes discipline." Well, this insight resonates with many who are on their own paths to recovery and self-improvement. So, for all of us at the A Lifetime of Hallmark podcast, we congratulate you, Angela White.
Yes.
And we have a cake for you when you come on the show.
Yes.
I do have some Abe Lincoln news, too.
Oh.
We have their theme song.
And now it's time for the Abe Lincoln Report. Here's
turns
Kurt
out Abe's
Fitzpatrick.
gay. I'm sorry. Oh, I jumped it. Yeah, that's why I'm not.
Get
Well,
the
Abe's
news.
gay.
Wait, what?
Abe Lincoln. Didn't you hear about this?
Yeah,
That
we
Abe Lincoln
talked
is
about this
gay.
in the thread.
Yes.
Yeah, but we didn't talk about it on the air. That
I'm
it's,
like, you're just finding this out?
Well, did you guys know this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, how long has this been going on?
Hundreds of years, apparently.
Really? Like since like the 1800s? There's a movie called Lover of Men, and this is a documentary about saying that Abe Lincoln may have been gay.
That's why Mary Todd was so mad all the time.
Yeah.
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 I was reading about this. There was like different guys, and he would share a bed with them. But they said that was kind of the way it was back then. They said guys would just share beds, and sometimes they would just relieve each other. And this was kind of like the thing back in the 1800s. I didn't know that.
Uh-huh. Didn't you read Moby Dick?
No, but the title definitely sounds suggestive.
No, in the first chapter, he talked about how he shared a bed with some, like you'd go to a hotel and rent a room, and some other stranger would come and rent a room, and you'd share a bed.
Oh my God, well, that's a bygone era. So anyway, it's just kind of a what?
Just go to like a Steamworks or an Eagle in your local town. Similar thing.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that? Steam? No, Les is talking about like you go to a La Quinta or so you go like a Holiday Inn, and all of a sudden like a guy will come in and share the bed.
Well, no, I'm talking about
true.
like a bathhouse.
Right.
Oh.
Or a sex club.
Oh, okay.
But Abraham Lincoln had a couple of men friends that lasted for years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, he wasn't only tall. He was tall in other places too, I guess.
Oh.
That's why they called him Honest Abe.
Well, I'm sure there's some people who are surprised by this. I was not aware of it.
Yeah, some people named Kurt Fitzpatrick.
I would like
We're
to
not
point
aware
out
of
that
Abe
when Kurt brought this up in our thread the other day, it quickly devolved into all three of us saying just super vile things. At one point, somebody flat out said that Mary Todd used to peg Abe.
I said that.
I know. I wasn't gonna
right.
call you out,
Yeah.
but since you're owning it, yes.
Yeah, but that would be a heterosexual activity.
Is it?
Well,
I think so. What, really?
I mean,
It depends on how he.
that's fair. I mean, he is with a woman in that context, but
Yeah.
it's certainly stimulating things that generally I would assume most heterosexual males aren't wanting to have stimulated.
Okay.
But
And then I love.
I'm not
we don't
speaking
know
from
that.
a place of knowledge, so I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
What?
Because I'm not a
heterosexual.
heterosexual male. I can't speak for that.
Right. I do love that Aunt Gert's name came back into the mix.
Yeah, Aunt Gert was a character in another movie that
Yeah,
we
from
watched.
Magic
Yeah.
Lemon Drops, the previous
Yeah,
episode that we did.
Yeah. And I don't understand how Aunt Gert got mixed into the Abe Lincoln revelation.
Because we
they're the
painted
same age.
Aunt Gert in that episode as being pretty wild, kind of game
yeah,
for anything,
yeah.
pretty
Yes.
sexually liberated.
Well, I'm going to see this documentary because I support this. I'm an ally, of course.
Yes.
So I have no problem that Abe Lincoln is gay. I just was not aware. But it's the documentary goes through the history of its time and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Now, you know who I think Aunt Gert would have had a ball with, but he wouldn't have wanted to deal with her, is Dr. Al in this movie.
Yeah. He would have the most beautiful women in his orbit, but if they weren't super young, he was not into them.
Because even the star, like the star of this movie, she was a beautiful woman
Gorgeous.
who was probably what,
Yeah.
like not. Do you think she was even 40? I don't even. I think if she was 40, she was probably barely 40.
Correct.
She was his love interest at first, and then he.
Yeah.
Well,
but
no,
she was
I
like-
think
younger.
he was gonna take advantage of that, and then realize that she's got a niece that's much younger. Rather have
Yeah.
that. Tossing you to the side.
'Cause
Yeah.
she was. That's the thing.
Consumer
She was.
culture.
She was beautiful, and yeah, she's probably like 40, if even that. And he,
Well, the guy, the guy's got some problems.
and
He's talking
like
to
he,
himself in a Hawaiian shirt.
once the niece came up, he wanted nothing to do with her.
I will
is
say
really a weird-
my favorite Stalked by My Doctor movie is still the one where you had him talking to the CPR doll. That's still my favorite one. But this one was just over the top and so much fun.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
These movies, they're weirder than the thread that we did with Aunt Gert and Mary Todd Lincoln.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this
And that's
movie.
that's saying something.
And what we didn't realize is there's a pre-mega fame Matt Rife in this movie too, the comedian.
Yes. Who
Yeah, for-
actually
yeah.
did not do a bad job.
Well, I think he had he used to be like a host or something on MTV. Like he was a performer. He had experience on camera before, but it was just
he's
wild because like we're watching this movie and see his name in the credits. Like Matt Rife is in this because he's like super famous as a stand-up now.
Yeah, and yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, because I was like, oh, well, he did a decent job.
Yeah.
He was not bad.
But
Yeah.
could have taken his shirt off and he did not.
Yes, he could have.
That's fine. He's done other movies, like small movies,
Yeah.
like indie things. There's one where he's like a vampire, and it's him and Jamie Kennedy, and they like run into Carrot Top. And it's like a full length movie.
Oh, please. I've been in a movie with Jamie Kennedy before.
I legit thought you were gonna say you were in a movie with Carrot Top. Legit thought that's where that was going.
I wish.
What was the Jamie Kennedy movie that you were in?
It's this movie. It is not good. Watch it at your own risk. I am forewarning you.
Was this before or after that disastrous New Year's Eve show that he did in Orange County?
Oh God, this was probably after.
Okay.
Well, when was his New Year's Eve show?
I mean, that was probably like at least 10 years ago, maybe 15.
This was like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Like, do you know what we're talking about, Kurt?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. For those at home, Jamie Kennedy like he was known for like prank shows and stuff like that on TV, and he got contracted. They were
Scream.
trying to make having a New Year's celebration on the West Coast a thing. So they had someone in Orange County and someone, I think, at Hollywood and Highland, which is like right where they do the Oscars. And they were trying to make it like a West Coast celebration. And Jamie and whoever was co-hosting with him were hammered, and it was just a train wreck, absolute train wreck.
Yeah. So yeah, this movie was like 10 years ago. And this movie was so bad, it was probably after that, because did he go through a period where he couldn't get a lot of work?
I believe so, yeah. And actually, let me clarify. I don't know that he was hammered. I might be remembering it incorrectly, so I don't want to say anything that isn't true and get us into trouble. So just, I remember that it was, in fact, a train wreck, though. The entire production.
I want to see what this movie was. Now I'm looking up his IMDb to see what the Les Kirkendall
It's called
Jamie
Bro,
Kennedy.
What Happened? And it is not a good movie.
Is it like a sequel to Dude, Where's My Car?
Oh, okay. The movie he did with Matt Rife is called Don't Suck. It's a vampire movie.
Okay.
And what's the movie that you did? Is Bro something?
Bro, What Happened?
I just love that you're in a movie with the word bro in the title.
Bro, what happened? Oh, I don't know. I got to press. He's in a lot of stuff. I don't see it here. Bro, what happened? Oh, there's a movie called Bro, What Happened? Yeah, from 2014.
That was I was in it.
Okay, it's not rated. Oh man, this is quite a. What's in this? Amanda Barton. I don't know who these people are. Okay, well, looks like quite a scene.
Lorenzo Lamas.
Mm-hmm.
Dante. He's the director.
Yes.
Dante. I don't know. I will say about Jamie Hart is he wrote Jamie Kennedy. He wrote a book, like a memoir, some years ago. It's called "Wannabe: A Hollywood Experiment." And it's a very funny book.
Was he a Hollywood experiment?
It was just funny. I remember reading it many years ago, and it's quite an amusing book.
I wonder if that was out around the time he had that show on the WB, because that wasn't that called the Jamie Kennedy Experiment.
Yeah, I think it was maybe it's from years ago. The book came out in 2003. That's what I thought. It was like 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I was very amused by this book. I was really amused.
Anyway.
Did we start on the movie? I'm not sure. I think we did.
Pardon?
Oh, no, we didn't really yet. Okay.
Other than mentioning that Matt Rife is in it, and
because I said
Eric
Matt
Roberts
Rife.
is in it,
We went down a map. Yeah, we went down a Matt Rife rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But we start out with Michelle is sleeping, and she's sleeping in her bed. She wakes up. She has on a very sexy negligee, and she gets out of her bed, and she starts walking through her neighborhood. And there's a couple in the neighborhood getting married.
Did you question how early she went to bed or how late this wedding started?
That's exactly what I wrote. I wrote she went to bed too early, and that's why she's doing that.
Because she stumbled into the wedding as the couple's doing the first dance.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she woke up, and not only in a negligee, her hair was done, her makeup was done.
Well, she knows
she looked club ready.
She always has to be ready to go out because she knows she's going to start sleepwalking. So you don't want to look like a slob.
Right. But when we find out the name of her condition is called sexsomnia, and it's a real thing.
Is it?
Yeah, because I just looked it up because I was like, I should make sure this is an actual thing. It's real. If I thought I had been diagnosed with sexsomnia and it was concerning to me that I was diagnosed with this, I would probably bundle up and wear all kinds of clothing to sort of make it more difficult to do anything inappropriate.
Right. But she was like ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, wear like a chastity belt or something like that. One of those old Roman things.
Like a giant oversized winter coat.
Yep. Not put makeup on because she was fully made up. Her hair was curled.
Yeah.
I'd at least wear a Johnny.
Something. So
you know what I'm talking about.
So
Long John?
she she
Johnny.
so yeah, the
Well,
couple
you got to be safe if you have sexteria. What is it called?
Sexsomnia.
A sexomnia.
Would you wear like
Sexteria.
the hat like Ebenezer Scrooge?
Yeah, that would that would prevent any sexteria.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
Yeah, ugly yourself up so that you once you leave the house, everybody's just running away.
Right. And the guy that she picked, the guy getting married, was cute too.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, so it's this backyard wedding, and she goes and she kisses the groom, and the bride flips out.
I like
Well,
the people at the wedding all pull out their cameras and they start filming this too.
Yeah,
Well, that's reality.
Yeah.
That's
It
probably
is
what
reality. It was just so fucked up. Like your friend is getting married, they're doing their first dance, and somebody breaks in the wedding. You're like, gotta capture this moment.
right.
Oh yeah.
And then because of that, she goes viral. Michelle goes viral, and so her boss put her on leave because of this.
Yeah.
But her boss was nice. Her boss didn't fire her. He just put her on leave.
Well, it's probably illegal too.
True. So then we cut to a greasy diner. And his name is Al, right?
Yeah, Albert
Eric.
Beck, Dr. Albert Beck.
Yeah.
So
But here
Albert,
is Carl.
oh yeah, he's wearing a name tag that says Carl, and he's a busboy at a diner.
We're talking about Eric Roberts, of course,
Yes.
the star of these Stalked by My Doctor movies.
Yes, and so he sees these sexy girls at a table, and they ask him about the sausage special.
Classy.
And then he
Where'd they get
starts-
these ladies too? The one was like beautiful.
Yeah. So then he starts fantasizing. Well, one thing I love about these movies is they don't make it look like he's fantasizing, but he's fantasizing.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's so caught up in his fantasy that he spills coffee on one of the customers. And the guy starts freaking out. And while the guy is freaking out, he looks down at the guy's table and sees like an orientation packet. And the guy's name is on it. And so he figures out that this guy is a doctor. And then he goes out back and sees a new car that belongs to this doctor.
Yeah.
So then,
And he stows
then
away in it.
So yeah, he stows away in it.
I get
So
it.
then the doctor starts driving. And I was like, I put the doctor's a dick, but then I realized, well, he did spill hot coffee on him.
You dick!
But I love this part because now Eric Roberts like puts a needle in the doctor's neck and then starts asking him how he got hired as a doctor. He's like, no,
Yeah.
no, what did you do? Oh, did you go on Indeed.com or did you go to networking events or what did you do?
And he answered it.
Yeah, he's really calm about this. He's like, well, he said he had a headhunter and he did a phone interview. So
And then the guy says he has no social media.
It was a really smart way to set up the fact that this new doctor coming in for this job, that nobody there would know what he looks like.
Right. The guy says he has no social media. And so Eric takes over and he shows up wearing the guy's clothes because the clothes are too big. And he shows up and the nurse at the front desk is like, can I see some ID? And he actually had a fake ID made. And then he has so then the receptionist makes a phone call. And so then Eric starts fantasizing again that he gets caught.
weird fantasy.
Not a fantasy. He like his brain is taking over. Like, oh no, I think they figured me out. I think that, oh no, they're after me. They're after me. And he like freaks out and like sneaks away into this other room. And there they are greeting him with cake.
Yes, I was like,
Yeah, I
Kurt
saw
would
it.
love this job.
I do, and I know it sounds like I'm leaning into my brand, But that cake did look really good.
It was like a pink cake, right?
Yeah, I like that. That's like those Magnolia cakes. Wonderful thing.
So they give him cake.
They were so nice.
Yeah. And then, they're like, welcome, welcome. And then he has his first patient, Michelle. And this is where we find out that she has sexomnia.
By the way, I don't know if we said the name of this movie. It's Stalked by My Doctor, A Sleepwalker's Nightmare.
Right. And it's at a sleep clinic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're at a sleep clinic now. Now, is he a psychiatrist or a psychologist?
I think it's psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist, even though Albert Beck is a heart surgeon.
Right.
But he's not pretending to be Albert Beck.
Really
he's pretending to be this other guy.
And then Kurt, didn't you think he was a nice doctor? Because when she shows up, he's like, do you want some cake? And he gives her cake too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would like that as a visit. Although my doctor said I should keep my weight. He said I should lose a couple more pounds.
I thought you had a perfect body.
No, that was the masseuse who said that.
We'll tell your doctor to call the masseuse.
The doctor said I'm in a good range, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, that's good.
In a good range, so.
Did you notice who didn't eat
Legit
the cake,
masseuse.
though?
Who didn't eat cake?
Eric Roberts.
Pamela. Oh, he didn't.
Oh.
No, because
He should have.
Pamela handed him cake. He's carrying her around, and then he goes to meet with Michelle, and he hands it back to Pamela, and she looks sort of like, "Why the fuck did he hand me his cake?"
Oh, do you know that Eric Roberts has titanium hips?
I believe I did know that,
No.
actually.
Yeah, because that's why you notice in the movies he limps.
Yeah.
I think that's why he limps.
Yeah.
Because he told Marc Maron that both of his hips are titanium hips. Oh, okay. So
Eric Roberts also was a stutterer, and I noticed his speech at one point.
yes.
I noticed he had there were a bunch of S's. He had one line where all the words start with S. He was kind of had some, I don't know. I could hear it a little bit in there, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He was a stutterer.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So when Michelle is meeting with Albert, she tells Albert the story that her husband is dead.
I see dead people.
And then it's this whole whacked out story that her sleepwalking started after a miscarriage, and her husband is dead because her husband caught her sleepwalking and sleeping with someone else. And so her husband killed the person, and then she ended up killing her husband.
Is there any chance that is a movie? That's a previous movie? Because it sounded like she was giving the plot of a whole other movie.
Well, it might be an actual defense of somebody in real life that they used from the headlines to write the story.
Okay.
And she said that she got off because it was self-defense. Yeah.
Well,
no, it definitely sounds like a Lifetime movie.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely does.
yeah, it's got some plot points in it. Sid Field, 3-act restorative structure in there.
So then his other personality shows up.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy Buffett.
What are you doing? Look at you. You can't keep it.
That's real Eric Roberts.
Leslie, you're covering your microphone there. What are you doing there? Okay, there we go.
So yeah, the other personality is like, "What are you doing? You can't just keep it in your pants."
I don't remember the Jimmy Buffett version of Eric Roberts having as much screen time in the other movies as he does in this one. He's very prominent in this movie.
I think because this is one of the newest ones, right?
I don't know.
This was from 2019. I'm not sure where it lands.
Because because I'm wondering if maybe as the movies progress, the character gets more airtime.
Maybe because now we have another. Well, we'll get to it, but there's even another personality of Albert's that we'll see.
Yes.
But what I loved about Jimmy Buffett Albert Beck in this one is that every time he's on screen, and it's a lot, he's wearing a different Hawaiian shirt and has a different tropical drink in hand.
Because Eric's like, look, you need to like expand this character.
Yeah, but I wonder if Eric is providing his own wardrobe, and he has a lot of Hawaiian shirts.
I bet like the props department is like, hey, we don't do a lot with props in these movies, but he sent us to a home goods store and they had a sale on glasses and it is gonna be epic.
Right.
Well, also, as soon as they tell Eric Roberts he's going to get paid, he's going to get, a bump in pay when he brings his own costume. He's always bringing his piles of clothes.
Yeah,
right.
Is it laundry day? What's this?
Right.
I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so he's talking to his other personality, and one of the doctors. What was her name? The nosy neighbor doctor.
I think it's Pamela.
Yeah, Pamela.
No, is it Pamela? Okay.
It's Pamela.
The Mrs. I was calling her the Mrs. Kravitz doctor.
Something with a P.
It was Pamela. I was calling her the cock blocker.
Right, that too. Like she's his nosy coworker.
I think she's technically his boss, by the way.
True.
Yeah, I think she's supervising. You call her nosy, but that is her job.
Yeah, and she's nosy in the sense that when stuff starts seeming really suspicious, she's the one that's like, "Hey, I don't know, this doesn't seem right."
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's a fair way to act in the workplace as a supervisor in a medical establishment. Yeah. Please, we need more Pamelas.
Because she's walking by his office. She hears him talking to himself.
Shouting
she
to
pops
himself.
In. Yeah.
He always has it. He can always justify it too. He's like, well, what happened? This is part of my technique that I do. Yes,
and what did she say about geniuses? She said, with genius comes something. She's like
it was something like
something.
Geniuses or eccentric or something, or I don't know.
Right. And I wrote here in my notes, I'm like, oh, she's not going to be alive very long. And so then he's in the sleep study and he's putting wires on Michelle's head. And she's like, well, what if I sleepwalk? What if I become sexually active?
Wow.
And Eric's like leering at her, but he's going, oh, we'll take care of it when the time comes.
That wouldn't be reassuring.
And then there's a nurse named Tyler. And so Tyler's helping him out, and then Eric's like, oh, well, Tyler, you can go home now if you want.
And Tyler's like, all right, see ya.
So so the way that the sleep study is set up, it's like set up like a bedroom, and then there's like a mirror, like a one-way mirror, and then an office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they can see her, but she can't see them.
Right.
Now this kind of treatment, it's got to cost a fortune.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They should have just made the movie about that. About how the health insurance is,
Well, usually a sleep study is being
with this.
funded by somebody else.
Yeah.
But this looks like she went in for medical help.
Yeah.
But you think it's something extra? So she's
it may be a little of both. But usually if it's a study, there's somebody funding the study. And she might be a volunteer in it, but might have to pay for those services anyway.
Right.
Yeah, you think a lot of those clinical studies are not completely paid for.
Yeah. Well, also, I love the fact that they're like hooking her up to all these wires to monitor, and they've got all these computer screens like showing like scans of her brain and shit. And every time somebody was in that sleep room hooked up to wires and would wake up, you would never see a change on those screens that anything was happening.
No.
Oh,
so then her phone, like she gets a text. And he reaches into her purse and looks at her text. And it's a text from her niece. So then she starts sleepwalking, and she basically just goes up to the one-way mirror and starts taking her clothes off. And so he's ready to go in there and get to work and go to town. But then Dr. Cockblocker comes in.
And actually cockblocks.
Pam. and cock blocks him.
She's like, "Oh, can I come in and watch this study?"
She keeps trying to come in. He keeps like trying to close the door on her, but she keeps trying to get in there.
Right.
And again, she's his boss. And he's like, "No, you can't come in.
You can't come in, boss. You can go home now, boss."
So then the next day, Michelle wakes up and she's disgusted with herself. But then
she's
Eric,
watching the video of what she did. Yeah.
And she's disgusted. But then Eric says, well, you know what it is? Since this started happening after your miscarriage, it's your subconscious trying to get pregnant again. So my thought was, I thought that until like the niece showed up, I thought the plot was going to be he was going to try to like impregnate her or something.
No.
Which was not the case. But that's what I initially thought it was going to be, like that. So the next day, she gets a call from her niece, and her niece has sleepwalking issues too.
Well, the niece has shown up from L.A. The niece lives in L.A., but has shown up in Albuquerque where they are, and is like, "Hey, I'm at your house."
Right. So she goes home. Eric follows her, and the niece has sleep issues, and the niece said that she started having her sleep issues after her parents died. Now,
dead people.
I didn't know that sleepwalker, like having sleepwalking issues were like superpowers where you could have like a different issue.
Well, she said she ate an entire carton of mustard.
Oh, her friends did. Because what it is her sleepwalking issue is when she's sleepwalking, she will do anything that anybody tells her to do. And she said that when she was sleepwalking, her friends made her eat a whole carton of mustard.
Yeah.
Which I would do stuff like that too. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, if I found out that I had a friend that had sleep issues, I wouldn't take sexual advantage of them like her boyfriend's friend did. But I would certainly put him through the paces of like, you know, send inappropriate text to so-and-so or
Right.
Order
Prank
this ridiculous
call.
thing on Amazon.
Right. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Well,
so then that's what happened is so her boyfriend's roommate found out about her sleepwalking issue and he took advantage of her and her boyfriend caught them. And so her boyfriend, I guess, beat the roommate up and kicked her out of the house.
Yes.
So
The boyfriend,
Eric
who we will later find out, is played by Matt Rife.
Yeah. And so Eric is like eavesdropping.
He did crowd work as he was thrown out. And it was good.
So he prescribes sedatives.
I like how she just says, "Okay, I'll take it."
Yeah.
Sure.
And she's like, and he's like, I need to do another sleep study for Michelle. And so Eric sneaks into the house and he goes into the niece's room.
By the way, he's very dressed up to sneak into the house. He was wearing...
Well, he's professional.
Well, he had like a suit on, but did you notice the shirt wasn't a normal suit shirt? It was a tuxedo shirt.
Yeah.
No.
He was wearing a tuxedo shirt.
Oh, he's definitely coming with his own clothes then. Because remember, when you do extra work, you get a bump if you wear a tuxedo.
Yeah.
You probably get an extra bump there.
A tuxedo shirt.
But did you also notice he was listening to Katie's conversation and he was standing outside of a window, but the window wasn't open. But somehow he could hear them.
That's a Lifetime trope, though. That like we see that a lot in Lifetime movies where like people will be outside but have no means of hearing this conversation or seeing what's going on, but will have full knowledge of what happened.
I guess it was single paned.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so then he's being watched. And the car drives away, and then the next day he has this new patient named Nikki Bismarck.
Mm-hmm.
And Nikki Bismarck tells him about how he likes younger women And younger women get crazy, but then the thing that doesn't make sense is this is a sleep study plays. And Nikki Bismarck isn't talking about his sleep issues. She's just talking about younger women.
Also, Nikki Bismarck showed up unannounced, isn't on the books there. They don't have an appointment for him. So as an audience member, your red flags are already up, like something's going on with this guy.
Yeah.
Bismarck, not Bismarcky.
Yeah, I think it's Bismar, not Bismarck.
But I don't know. Is he a general psychiatrist? So he's not just.
I thought he worked at the sleep study place.
Well, I think when we learn what we eventually learn, you're overthinking this guy's presence at this doctor's office.
I can't help overthink. Just trying to get things straightened out in the doctor's office. Mm-hmm. Someone needs to manage that place.
So then, Eric goes to this greasy spoon, and what was the niece's name?
Katie
bumps into Eric and spills her soda on him, and he says, "Oh, well, that's okay, and they end up having burgers, and he tells her about the sleep clinic, and
they realize, oh, my aunt is going there. Right. Oh, I'm her doctor.
Wouldn't you be a little suspicious now if you were her? Like, this is a little strange.
But one of the things I got to say about the character he plays is the character, when he's dealing with patients or other people, he's actually very nice.
Yeah.
So he kind of
he's good at putting on the facade of charm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Well, maybe some people would fall for that, but I'd be.
And initially, he doesn't hit. Initially, he doesn't hit on them.
And I think it's also established by Katie's condition, her version of sleepwalking, that she's kind of susceptible to listen to suggestion from other people anyway.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, her car doesn't start.
We should also put out, and it was a very minor detail, but it was still pretty funny, that initially Eric Roberts wanted Michelle in for a sleep study again, like she's got to be in tomorrow, and then he bounces so he can go bump into Katie and leaves Michelle with Tyler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so Tyler's watching her, and then Pamela comes in, the other doctor, and then Tyler goes out to get some coffee. And then Michelle starts sleepwalking. And she starts beating on the window. And I don't understand why Pamela had to go into that room.
Again, she is pounding on the window, and there are no warning signs on those computer screens that something is going wrong.
Right.
Nope.
And Pamela, allegedly a sleep doctor as well, is like, I'll just go in the room. What's the harm?
Right. Like, why would you go in there alone if she's beating on the window like that?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you wait for Tyler to get back?
Yeah.
What are they expecting her to do while she's sleeping in the room? Like, what are they looking for exactly?
They're observing.
Yeah.
Just watching her sleep?
Yeah. And they're looking to see if there's any sort of like neurological patterns or, electrical impulses going through her brain at that moment when she wakes up, and like they're trying to figure out the why.
Right. Well, Pamela goes in there by herself, and Michelle decides that she wants some lady love.
Yeah.
And starts in on Pamela, and Pamela's not happy.
No.
And she starts to overpower her, but Tyler comes in and saves her. And it's like, you should know better than to go in there by yourself.
Yeah.
So then Eric takes Katie home, and Matt Rife is there.
Wow, they must have been excited. Like, holy shit, Matt Rife is here?
No, he isn't. Albuquerque.
Jesus. My God. Who else is here? Ryan Reynolds, is he here? This is exciting.
So then he
That would be funny if this movie just turned it like the later seasons of Will and Grace, where it's just like superstar after superstar just keeps showing. Like Taylor Swift's in this movie,
right?
Holy shit!
So Matt Rife, or
I just saw
otherwise
Kenan
known as
Thompson in the
Leo,
bathroom.
right? So Leo apologizes to her for like kicking her out of the house and overreacting to what he found. And so then he's actually, she's like, this is my aunt's doctor. My car broke down. He gave me a ride. So Leo's not suspicious or anything. And so Eric asks if he could go to the bathroom. And so he goes to her bathroom and starts acting out scenes with her toiletries.
Oh my God. He was simulating a drinking glass, humping the soap dispenser. And it was magical.
Well, what was
And the makeup brush.
Yeah, the makeup brush and something else. The soap dispenser. Yeah, they were getting it on. And then the glass, he got so aggressive, the glass broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's like
then,
children's theater, like puppetry.
Yeah.
He missed his calling.
So then the next day at the sleep clinic, everybody's there. Everybody.
Oh, Matt Rife wasn't there.
Leo,
I think he was there.
Michelle.
Leo DiCaprio. Sir Paul McCartney.
Is that Emily Blunt down there? I think it is.
Right. So
The ghost of Jimi Hendrix.
There you go. I was like, where are we going to go? You said Taylor Swift. Like, where are we going to go from this? We went too high.
So
We can't one up that.
Eric plays a masterful cock-blocking game. Because he tells Leo he should not be staying over. Mm-hmm. He tells Katie she should not be sleeping with him. And he tells Michelle she needs another sleep study. And so then Eric goes to Katie's house and she's sleeping and he tells her to text Leo. And she texts him, meet me in a parking lot. Because he's at a motel. So she texts him, meet me on the second floor at some strange parking lot.
This is Matt Rife as Leo.
Yes. By the way, though, joking about Leo DiCaprio, if Eric Roberts' character, if Albert Beck really does want to get very young, attractive women, they do need to have Leo DiCaprio in these movies.
Right.
I guess so, yeah. That'd be true to life.
Yeah.
So Leo shows up at the parking garage and Katie is standing in the parking garage with a teddy on next to some stairs. So he walks up to greet her and Eric pushes him down the stairs and then kicks him in the head.
Oh, that's the end of Matt Rife.
Yeah. And so then the cops come over and they say, well, Katie, you're the one that texted him. And so then Katie's like, well, I don't remember. So then the people start getting suspicious because it's like, oh, well, then someone suggested to her to text him.
And she's blaming herself. His family's blaming her. And has already, this is moments after they found out that he's dead. She's already found out that the family has said she's not invited to the funeral.
Right.
It's weird getting invited. I was never invited to a funeral.
No.
Did you ever get an invitation in the mail? Funeral next week.
Who sent it?
Right. I don't know. Invited.
So the Nikki comes back to taunt Eric more. And then
Nikki. That's right.
Yeah, Nikki Bismarck.
Yeah.
And then, so who told Eric that a man was in his office to observe him, or who wanted to observe Eric? Someone wanted to observe someone.
I don't know.
Well, no. So, like, Nikki shows up, and Eric's, like, getting freaked out because this guy keeps showing up. He keeps talking to me about all his problems. He's not on my schedule. And then he goes and tells Pamela about it. And he's like, hey, there's this guy. Like, he keeps showing up upstairs. It's freaking me out.
He runs out to get Pamela like she's his mom or something.
Again,
she's like, there's a man in there.
She is his boss.
There's a man in there. Well, he utilizes that. There's a man in there. She runs in to do something about it. And yeah, he's gone.
Oh, so then we find out that Dr. Tanner isn't even dead.
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Because remember, we found out that Dr. Tanner was mugged and he's not dead. And
I think he is dead.
No. He's dead.
Why are they talking about his hurt shoulder?
They're talking about something that happened before.
So Pamela calls the headhunter or the hospital where they hired Dr. Tanner from, who is the identity that Eric Roberts has taken over. He's taken over for Dr. Tanner. And she's like, hey, I wanted to thank you again. She suspects something's up. And she's like, hey, I looked him up and there's no social media. And so this other doctor starts telling her like, oh yeah, he had a patient that was stalking him at one point, and it got so bad that it's still even like bullet shrapnel still in his left arm. That's a detail that Pam will then use to try and suss out whether or not Eric Roberts is in fact Dr. Tanner or if he's lying about it.
Oh. Okay.
And she asked him to send over a photo because they're going to have a cake for him.
Right.
This sleep study place loves their cake.
Yeah.
Man, I got to go take a nap there.
Well, Michelle is at the sleep study place.
Oh, nightmares though if I eat cake before I go to sleep.
Oh, do you really?
Oh, weird. No, just like weird dreams.
Maybe this place is in on the fix. Like they're giving everyone cake, so their dreams are even more fucked up. They have to stay there longer.
Right.
Yeah. They're really milking people. No, but give me like a chicken parm. Oh my God, or something before I go to sleep. It's wacky world.
A chicken parm before bed?
What happens? Like, what kind of dreams will you have? What kind of chicken parm induced dreams will you have?
Oh, just weird things. It's just really bizarre stuff is going on. I can't think of anything specific. I might be traveling to a different planet or something like that, or digging a hole or something really wacky.
Well, anyway, so Dr. Pam is in the office and she gets stabbed. Eric stabs her.
Well, no. Before that even happens, they're in the sleep study room, and she puts her arm on his shoulder and grabs it like she's hitting on him, and he doesn't really flinch. So she is already like, oh, something's up, because that's his bad shoulder, or it should be his bad shoulder. And then she gets an email from the other doctor like, oh, or a call. Hey, I sent you that photo. It's in your inbox now. And so Eric Roberts overhears this conversation and then stabs Pam.
Yes. And Michelle is sleeping. And so then Eric starts faking selfies, sexy, sleepy selfies with Michelle.
And then he goes in the bathroom, starts beating his head on the porcelain.
Yeah,
that looks like it hurt.
Yeah. Because his ultimate plan is he's going to frame Michelle for killing Pam.
Yeah. Because then Pam starts getting texts from Michelle. And then Eric is talking to the cops and he has like an ice bag on his head. And then before we know it, Michelle's getting framed and getting put into an insane asylum.
I like the police officer too. He's like, what's this sexotica? Sexteria?
Right.
He goes, I married the wrong woman.
Right.
No, it's what is it? So it's because it's insomnia, so it's sexomnia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sexomnia
right.
is the
Okay, good. I got it.
term.
Sexomnia.
So she's in an insane asylum where everything is dirty. The people's clothes are dirty. Everything's dirty.
Yeah, that looked like a haunted house. Like an amusement park.
Yeah, it was definitely like the most heightened version of a mental health institution you can imagine. Like old school, very like Nurse Ratched.
And then these two workers were gonna like drug her to make her sleep so that she would have sex with them.
So
And
the
what
level
if-
of care also isn't good there.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the workers is like, she has sexomnia. So why don't you go and get a 6-pack of beer and then we'll drug her.
Yeah, there's weird work ethics happening in this movie on the
Yes.
whole.
Very, very weird work ethics.
Well, I mean, certainly people aren't really abiding by their Hippocratic oath.
No.
Has the Department of Labor taken a look at this movie?
So
I suggest they do.
Michelle started to sleepwalk, and she was sleepwalking, and they like unshackled her, and then she beat them up and stole their clothes.
Well, she initiates a three-way,
Yeah.
makes it seem like she's still asleep, initiates a three-way, then is able to like take their nightstick and like kick the shit out of them.
Yes. So meanwhile, she stole their clothes and escaped. And meanwhile, Eric is having a romantic dinner with Katie.
Oh yeah, it looked like he ordered out from the Olive Garden.
Yes.
Well,
That really did or it looked like the craft services. They just they just like moved it to that table.
yeah.
It was like a
Yeah.
Caesar salad and some spaghetti. I would have been like, hey, you shouldn't have. Do you have
Katie-
money, or aren't you a doctor?
So Katie is
That's
actually on
elegant
this
for Albuquerque.
right.
Is it? Okay.
Katie's actually on, like, Katie's catching on that things aren't right.
Well, because he
Outside.
starts talking to Jimmy Buffett right in front of her.
Yeah. And then Jimmy Buffett is like, you idiot. Look, you've got this girl here and you're talking to me. And then Nikki
Next time we
shows
order
up.
Next time we'll order from Dairy Queen.
Right.
Mm.
Why are you spending good money on her? All you need to get was ice cream. So then Nikki shows up. And then we find out, I love that there was a chalkboard in the kitchen.
Well, that's a good idea.
So then Nikki shows up, and then we find out Nikki's like, figure my name out.
Yeah, because he kept saying because they commented a couple of times on the name, and Albert being like, Nikki Bismar, what does that mean? And so he starts writing out the anagram of what that would be, trying to figure out what else those letters mean.
And
I knew a girl named Nikki. Some said, what's the lyrics?
says she was
I knew a
sex
girl
fiend.
named Nikki. Yeah, that's it.
Well, they figure out Nikki's name, and Nikki's name means my sick brain. So Nikki was just another Eric personality, but it didn't look like
Unscrambled.
it.
Yeah, it was a different actor playing it.
Yes.
Yeah, which was a little strange, but I guess it was easier than
Well,
using special
was
effects.
only it makes sense for the audience that they would have a different actor play him, because they wanted to keep the audience guessing as to like, why is this guy keep showing up? But
Right.
I don't think it was that surprising when we find out this guy was just another figment of Eric Roberts' imagination. So it would have been more fun to see Eric Roberts playing 3 parts.
And then the prop wise, so like the one Eric had like a hat and Hawaiian shirts and a drink, and then this one had a cigar.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if initially he was going to play the other one too.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe Eric had a scheduling conflict with all of his movies.
Well, also, I would
couldn't have
imagine if he's playing multiple parts, that means they have to film those scenes multiple times from multiple angles,
right.
and have someone standing in. So they probably realize if we have him playing 3 parts in one scene, it's going to start looking like Orphan Black up in here.
Right.
Yeah.
So then Michelle shows up.
And he has to get out to do the other 3 movies that he's shooting that day. So
Right.
they can't keep for that long.
Because he said in Maron he shoots more than 1 movie a week.
Yeah.
So, so then Michelle shows up, and this is where they start fighting, right?
I don't know, but Daniel Day-Lewis is such a pussy. He does like 1 movie every 5 years.
Yeah.
Look at Eric Roberts.
Eric does 1 movie. He does 3 movies in 5 days.
That's how it's Daniel Day-Lewis. He should like start doing that. All of a sudden, just make a gazillion movies.
But remember how we talked about how he said that Eric will do anything? He says on Maron, he's like, I love acting. He's like, I love it. He's like, I will do anything. He's like, even if I know it's bad, I'll still do it because
We're
still
aware.
fun for me.
What?
I said we're
True.
aware.
Yeah.
So then Michelle shows up and they start. Oh wait, because he's going after Katie, right?
So Nikki Bismar is basically telling him to go take advantage of Katie because he's got his chance, and then Michelle shows up, and then then Nikki's telling him to finish off Michelle, get her out of the way, and then somehow Eric's gonna have Katie grab a knife and kill Michelle. And Michelle's trying to talk Katie out of it, and then somehow Katie just suddenly comes to, and it's like, I'm gonna take care of myself now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
It
then the
seems
cops
sudden.
show up.
Maybe he did cure these people.
Then the cops show up,
Yeah.
and then Michelle tells Katie, actually, his name is, he's Dr. Albert, blah, blah, blah. Because Albert at this point is like infamous. Like he's a fugitive. And so everybody knows about him.
That's why I don't understand. Like, the only person that recognized or knew that they recognized his face even a little bit was Leo. Like, Leo had seen him on TV at some point.
But then, because even with the cops, when they mentioned his name, the cops were like, oh my gosh, yeah, this guy's like on the run. Like everybody knew the name.
Yeah.
So was this the last one? I'm sure there's another one, but the cops caught him. The cops caught him and took him to the insane asylum and gave him electroshock therapy.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna come out of that.
Yeah, because we know he's been sent off to the insane asylum before and broken out. Like, that's sort of the whole.
I'm looking it up.
But yeah, so this one he got electroshock therapy.
All right, here. Stalked. No, this is so. There's one after this called "Just What the Doctor Ordered" that came out 2 years later. It says there are 4 movies.
So we've seen 3.
I think there are 5 of them.
Okay, how many movies are there?
So I think we've seen 3 of them.
This says there's 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, maybe I don't know. This one says there's 3. I don't know.
Well, I have no problem watching these movies.
I love these movies so much.
They're always a good time.
Movie database. Tell me.
And with these movies, the thing that I love is the dumber the better.
Oh yeah, they know that they are just doing the most over the top shit in these movies, and that's why they're doing it.
And that's what I love. I love if it's a movie that knows what it is and leans into it. I'm all about it.
Oh, we've seen the latest. We've seen the Stalked by My Doctor, Just What the Doctor Ordered. We've watched that one.
Yeah, was that the first one we watched?
We may have. Well, we realized that it was a series when we watched one of them.
So yeah, maybe that was the first one we watched.
Yeah, there's Stalked by My Doctor, Stalked by My Doctor: The Return, Stalked by My Doctor: Patient's Revenge.
We saw that.
Stalked by My Doctor: A Sleepwalker's Nightmare, and then Stalked by My Doctor: Just What the Doctor Ordered.
Yeah, we've seen them all.
Yeah.
Oh, I came bummed.
Hey, these movies are a little creepy.
That's
a lot of work.
You think?
That's a lot of work just because he likes young girls. It's like, I
want them to make
feel
more.
a little dirty.
Well, I still love the fact that like this woman, like he was all about her, and the minute he found out that she had a young niece, she was done.
Is everybody creeped out that Eric Roberts, like the actor, has like these makeout scenes with these young girls?
And he really makes out with them.
Maybe the girls do.
Baby. I bet he's actually like fun on the set.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. And he's probably like the nicest guy ever too, but he's so good at playing a creep. So good at it.
Yeah. Well, he was talking about I can't wait to read this book because he was talking about making Star 80 and how he loved being that character in Star 80
and how upset he was to find out that it was only one movie, not 80 movies.
Right? He's like nice. 80 movies. He's like, I could be working for
2 weeks,
10 years straight. Well, I gotta go to the airport now. So, if you want to get a hold of me, you can find me on my website, leskirkendallbarrett.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Kirkendall Jason.
Please rate and review our podcast and subscribe to it so it helps more people find A Lifetime of Hallmark. You can find us all on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Lifetime of Hallmark Podcast and on TikTok at Lifetime of Hallmark Pod. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Big Shot Jason. Kurt.
Oh, I'm going to be doing the Leukemia Lymphoma Society Light the Night event, and I put all the information on our Facebook pages. We have a few. I put them up there, so go check that out, and you can donate to the Light the Night event, and that'll help the Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
And if anybody out there knows Eric Roberts, I'm just going to throw it out there. If anybody out there knows Eric Roberts or knows how to get a hold of Eric Roberts, tell Eric Roberts we want him on our podcast. Blac Chyna too.
Yeah, if there's 6 degrees of separation in Kevin Bacon, there must be like about 1.5 degrees to Eric Roberts.
Serious.
Well, I can tell you where it is already. Our buddy David Rosen is like his people he knows make movies. They put Eric Roberts in their movie.
David Rosen. We're talking to you. Anyway, I've got to finish packing so I can head to the airport. So I will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.